Service agreements and cleaning contracts. What if I told you you had it all wrong? I'm Angela Brown and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question and I get to help you find an answer. Now, the other day in one of our private Facebook groups, there was a house cleaner that jumped in and she said she had a 15-page service agreement that she has customers sign before she begins work. And there were a whole bunch of people that jumped in and they were like, whoa, that's a whole lot of rules and regulations. And then there were a whole bunch of people that were like, hey, can I send you my email address? Will you send it to me? Because I want to have my customers sign a 15-page working agreement before we begin. All right, then today I get this question.
Hi, Angela. My name is Sterling. Me and my friend just recently started our own house cleaning business. I was just wondering, is it a custom thing to have a customer sign a contract before the clean? Thanks.
All right, I have been asked this question 24 times in the last 48 hours. This is a question that now is on the front of everybody's mind. Do you need a service agreement? The answer is yes. Yes, 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 because every interaction we have with someone else in a relationship, working or personal, involves an agreement. The agreement is either verbal or it's non-verbal, but I promise you this, the ones that are verbal are easier to understand and easier to follow. If we don't have a verbal agreement, then what happens is we have a covert contract where I expect you to do something, but you have no idea what it is, and you expect something from me, and I have no idea what it is, and then if I don't live up to it, then you're disappointed, and vice versa, right? So the interesting part of having the agreement in place is that both people know how to respond. Now, let's say you go to get a driver's license. They're going to spend 12 weeks in driver's ed where they teach you all the rules and regulations, right? There are really 5 or 6 of them that you really need to know that you need to follow all the time. But in order to have a driver's license, you got to follow those 5 rules. And they're things like follow the speed limit and stop at the stop sign and stop at the stoplights and stay in your own lane, things like that. That way everybody can drive in the same space, working with each other because everyone knows the rules, right? So there are certain things that require rules. For example, we get married and we have vows that come out of our mouth. We make promises and then we sign a marriage certificate. The vows say things like, I will stay with you through richer or poorer, through sickness and in health, right? And we make these promises. That is the expectation. If both parties make the expectation, everyone knows the rules. Then one day you wake up and you're 20 years into the marriage and you're like, whoa, it works. Well, it works because you followed the rules, right? So what are the rules of your house cleaning business? And do you need a 15-page contract? The answer is no, nobody's going to read a 15-page contract, and they probably won't remember the rules even if you went over them verbally, okay? There are 5 or 6 that are really important. Okay, so I use a worksheet, and if you don't have a worksheet, you can borrow mine. It is editable so that you can edit it in Microsoft Word or Google Docs. You can tweak it and make it your own, right? Go to savvycleaner.com/worksheets and download a free copy. All right, this is a little different than a service agreement. Okay, this is my service agreement, but this does not say these are my rules and regulations and you have to follow them or else. What I'm saying is these are my rules and regulations. Here is what I'm going to do. Here's what you can expect from me. Okay, this is my agreement to you. And so what happens when I come to your house, I do the things that are on this page. And at the end, I have my rules and regulations, which are 3/4 of a page, right? 5 or 6 things that are super important for us to have a working agreement. And this is not, you have to follow my rules. This is how I will respond in each of these situations, okay? These are the rules and how I will respond. If I come to your house, for example, the doors are locked and there's no alarm or whatever, and I can't get in, this is how I will respond. If I get to the house and I'm expecting some money, because I work for money, if I get to the house and there's no money, this is how I will respond, right? If there are special projects and you need something that's not part of this agreement, there's a special way to do that, and here's how I will respond if you just randomly give me a checklist and extra to-dos that are not part of our original agreement, right? Then when I'm walking through the house with a customer, I give them a copy of this and I let them follow me through the house, and I explain to them as I go how this works. On the last page, because I don't want to forget, I actually look at it. It's my cheat sheet and it's my sales pitch. And I go through this and I say, these are my rules. This is how I will respond. When I get done, I say, is this agreeable to you? And they say, yes, it's agreeable. And I say, great, let me have you initial it right then so that we both know that we're agreeing to the same thing. And they say, okay, great. And they initial it. That's the contract. That's it. It's very simple. It's very easy to apply. But here's what happens. I leave a copy of this at every single house, at every single cleaning. Because if they forgot, it's all right here. My rules and regulations of how I will respond is right here. Here's what happens. This gets passed around a lot. And I've gone to other people's houses to bid contracts. And when I get there, they have a worksheet from their neighbor. And I take a look at it, and do you know what I know? I know this. My neighbor has explained to them what I do when I come to their house. They've explained my rules, and if they didn't, they're all right here in this little packet. When they call me to have me come bid their house, what I know is the sale is already closed. All I got to do is go in, meet their expectations, explain my rules to them, and I have to just lock down a date on the calendar. They called me because whatever was in here, it's manageable. It's like looking at the rules of the road and saying, I can follow the rules of the road. Yes, give me a driver's license. I will obey. And it's not that you want them to obey and that you're forcing them to sign something and that you're trying to get them, you follow my rules. No, it's like, do you understand my rules for me? This is how my business operates. This is how I will respond. And if I show up at the house and for some reason, none of the things are cohesive, you did not keep your end of the bargain, this is how I will respond. And so it keeps everyone playing on the same page for always. Now I'll tell you this, very rarely have I ever had a problem where somebody didn't pay or somebody did not keep their end of the bargain. And so when people know what the rules are, then they can rise to the occasion and they can keep their end of the relationship so that the agreement stays intact. All right, I hope that helps a little bit. If it does, please give us a thumbs up. If you have questions, leave those in the notes below. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.